BizzTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Mr. Amit Jivani with us. He's a digital marketer by profession and he is been leading Simprosys Infomedia since its inception. Let me tell you, Simprosys is one of the fastest growing SaaS business agency in the world. As a citizen, Mr. Jivani is prominent to making innovative ideas to curb corruption, impose law and order situation efficiently on the political establishment, a public administration for betterment of Indians and Indian resources, aiming to make the history in the modern Indian cultural timeline. So here we have Mr. Jivani with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me here.
So, Mr. Jivani, can you explain us your journey in your own words?
As far as my business life is concerned, I started working as a content writer for SEO in 2011. Along the way, I started learning SEO, so I had some few works in proper SEO. And when I was working in the SEO assignments, I needed some help of the developers to make tweaks and changes in the website. So my clients used to ask me. In that process, somewhere around 2013, I came across Ankit, who is my former partner right now. Okay. We both worked together informally till 2016. In 2016, we decided to make this relationship into a formal setup, formal establishment. Although Simprosys was established somewhere around 2012 as a formal entity, and we became a partner of Simprosys Infomedia in 2016. And immediately after the partnership, we started working on different kind of SaaS-based services. Right. Even before we became formal partner, we had one of the small SaaS module in place through which we were earning a decent amount of revenue. It wasn't a big money maker for us, but it was helping us survive. It was helping us feed our families. So we had confidence that we can make something that is worth. That will be worth of huge amount or huge reputation, right? And then as I was working in between, I switched my personal expertise from SEO to pay-per-click marketing, and then specific to Google Shopping paid advertisement, right? So based on my requirement, my learnings of the Google Shopping program, we decided to develop something that was not available in the market, and we built integration for Google Shopping advertisement of Shopify for Shopify merchants. Okay. And since it was definitely based on the need of the merchants, based on the need of an agency who is working in the Google Shopping domain itself as an executive, it started answering, or it started solving all the challenges which I as an individual was having while working on Google Shopping campaign. Gradually, it became a very popular. Nowadays, we are most preferred integration service provider on Shopify ecosystem. I would say I wouldn't mind in claiming or bragging that we are one of the largest product data provider to the Google as a third party in the entire world.
Wow.
So that is the case. And as of now, we are considering so many other options. As a consolidated business, one always tries to diversify, right? And that is the reason we are exploring other options. But for now, we are known as a Google Shopping expert globally. That is the case.
That's amazing. That's really a nice story that you share with us. Exciting to our audience. So you must have had some obstacle in this success path. So what were the obstacles and how you try to overcome that?
See, as far as obstacles are concerned, we had them in the form of competition only, because when we got into the market, we were very new, right? So the other competitors were providing similar services at very high prices. Okay. So we decided we will keep our pricing in the moderate range, and that helped us. That is one thing. Then second thing, there was a lack of support from other service providers. So we invested very heavily in support process, troubleshooting process. Okay. Even in present day scenario, I have more than 25 team members working in troubleshooting of our customers' accounts only. Let me tell you, we are catering more than 60,000 merchants right now.
Oh, wow.
Right. So that is the case. Mm-hmm. So we had obstacles, but we could foresee them well in advance, and we prepared ourselves. And that is actually the characteristic of the business person, right? And that is what I would like to tell everyone else. Try to be on the top of the game by just not maintaining your I would say the dominance, try to be problem solver and anticipate if there is something coming up. If you can foresee them, be prepared for them.
This is the true identification of entrepreneur, I must say. To forecast and to be on the top of the game.
Right.
Correct. So what keeps you that motivated and in all these challenging situations?
See, right from beginning, I have been a non-tech person. I never developed the product myself. I never worked on software myself, right? So the biggest, I would say, the contributor to our success has been our relationship with our merchants. Even today, I don't ask most of my agencies which have been working with me since beginning, since inception of the, since launch of this product. I try to answer them myself. Even if I am not able to manage, I try to assign somebody who can work with them directly. So for us, I would always say that become a problem solver, nothing else. Nothing else. You just try to address the problem statement in a way that is going to be helpful to your audience, your customer base, and that is going to help you a lot. At the same time, don't think of increasing the pricing, because a lot of times I have seen similar SaaS model owners. I meet a lot of them. They realize that after you reach to a certain level, they think of increasing the pricing and all those things. But we have been at the same level since in fact we introduce more features and more facilities on the same plan.
Right.
We just focused on markets rather than the revenue. And when we maintained our focus on market share, we could see increase in the revenue as well.
That's wonderful. This is a true.
And that is the motivation, I would say. Right? So just you have to motivate yourself to be supportive to your customers. You just should be able to solve the problems. Then revenue will automatically follow. And that is the motivation I always expect from my team members also. You have to solve the problems. You have to troubleshoot it rightly. If there is any query, make sure that challenge is addressed in a way it should have been.
So what this was great. This is amazing. A success mantra, you can say, but we would like to know more success mantra if anybody wants to get into this IT industry. So what's the success mantra for that?
I have come, after seeing our success, a lot of guys from my town, Ahmedabad, have tried to meet me. And from my experience, I had a knowledge of two domains. One means development process, coding and all those things. And I had a knowledge of requirement, how the product data has to be processed. So I would say the core domain and product development domain. These two domains, in the software industry, most of the software try to address the problem of core industrial processes, right? So the knowledge of dual domains is the critical success mantra if you really want to get into a product or SaaS kind of model or standalone application development model.
Okay.
That expertise matters a lot. And if you don't have it, try to have that kind of person in the decision making process or strategic goals process. You can have him as a partner or a proper consultant. But to be successful, you must be able to solve the problem, and to solve the problem, you must have proper definition of the problem, and to have a proper definition of the problem, you must have eyes to identify them. And when you have eyes to identify them, or when you have a person who realizes that there is a challenge, there is a gap that has to be filled up, you will be successful. The only thing is you must be able to fill up that gap in an efficient manner.
Correct. That's really true. And our youth should also know all this. This is like something you're getting out of a successful person. So it's better you gain something from them. What else would you like to give advice to our young professional who are just getting into this industry? So they would also love to know more about it.
First of all, don't get obsessed with whatever you have developed. I had two software failures in the beginning. Then third one became moderately successful, about which I spoke, that we had a small SaaS product which was helping us feed our families, right? So first two failures didn't deter us because we were committed to get into this model. See, I was right from beginning when I realized that I have only IT industry that I want to work into. Academically, I am a civil engineer, but I was destined to be into this domain. And because of the certain situations and equations in the life, I had to switch into this domain. The moment I got into this domain, I always was prepared that I will work into software level. I will not do custom assignments lifelong. I want to develop something that is worthwhile, that works for hundreds and thousands of people. I didn't assume in those days that I will work for thousands of customers, but I wanted to make a software that can on its own can work for hundreds of businesses or individuals. That was there. So in the first two instances, we had failure. First one was about reporting of Google Ads model. I was working on extraordinary reporting kind of in comparison of previous historical data and all those things. When we had reached to a level where we could try it and test it with some of the beta clients, we saw Google came up with the similar feature in its own interface. So it was a premature death, I would say. We didn't even get it into the market, right? Then we had another product which failed because of the seasonal variation. I didn't want to get into a seasonal business where you have a revenue during the peak season of the business and you have no revenue during the rest of the year. Because you have employees, you have other resources which cost you all along, right? And their cost is almost consistent. You can't bind their remuneration with your revenue model. Nobody's, I think hardly anybody would be happy to work in that model. So even that couldn't survive. Even in the beginning, we realized that this is going to be a seasonal business. So we dropped that idea as well. So you have to keep trying, but don't get obsessed with your expertise. Right? I have seen many youngsters, oh, I can solve worldly problems and all those things. It is not that easy. You have to have the exposure to the market. You have to understand the sentiments of your probable customers, and at the same time, you have to be very realistic about the solution that you are bringing in.
That's true.
At the same time, you shouldn't get discouraged with the failure. This is very tricky situation to be in. You have to be realistic. At the same time, you can't get discouraged, right? So you have to be able to maintain the balancing between these two.
Correct. That's right. That's right. That's perfectly all right. Like, what a brilliant thought that we got from him. You have to balance every situation and then move ahead towards your goal. That's right. Thank you so much for sharing such a great insights with us, Mr. Jivani. And we are looking forward to have some more chats with you again in the future with some trending topics of international business industries. And for our viewers, if you like the chat with Mr. Jivani, please like, share this video and subscribe our page, Clickaway Creators. And for you, we will come up with more industrial leaders. This is Ayushi from BizzTalk World. Bye-bye.